And we are live with the third game of the day featuring the round of 8. And we have Burly Men facing off against VishusnDelishus. We do apologize for the delay, but unfortunate technical difficulties on our side did lead to a few things that need to be fixed. But we got to bring you the best content possible. So now we should be able to bring you plenty as bands, picks coming down the line. Shadowboy, Circuit already taken off the table by VishusnDelishus.
Yeah, and I feel like this is probably a good ban, especially when you consider some of the prior games that we've seen where Circuit has just been let to do whatever. But hell, a response ban from Burly Men, and then going over towards VishusnDelishus, it looks like they want to ban out Janice. Final bans going over to Burly Men for the Geb. So all around, looking like some pretty standard bans coming out. No surprises to see Khepri is going to be a high contention pick, but VishusnDelishus actually electing to pick up, Burly Men actually electing to pick up Isis and Khepri, yeah.
And it was VishusnDelishus that grabbed the Awilix and a Ho-Yi from the looks of it here. Buuddha now hovering on his next pickup here. Taking this one through. I'm assuming, yeah, we're going to see the Agni locked in here, most likely, as that mid lane pickup there. Stable mid laner, and one that you, well, really won't be too afraid of locking in early.
Yeah, I feel like Agni is just such a safe character, no matter when you pick him or when you decide to actually try to play him. Basically, he's always been relevant for mana-free bombs, as well as a stun, a nice displacement ability. He's got a lot of tools built into his kit that just makes him hard to actually deal with. But Burly Men having the Isis and the Khepri makes them a tough team as well. And then coupling that with a Thor makes it an even stronger team composition.
Yeah, they're going to have so much pressure around the map, especially in these early game skirmishes. Likely to see, once again, that purple pot Isis, which NinjaSniPAH is somebody who does a lot of that as well. So he'll be no stranger to how this matchup is going to end up playing out, most likely, especially with an Agni as his pickup here. Now back to the second round of bans. Likely to see the support ban come out as actually Sun Wukong banned away by the Burly Men. VishusnDelishus likely to shoot back with something similar, such as an 80 carry ban.
Waiting to see what they want to ban out here, and I agree with you. 80 carry ban would be respectable unless they have some particular solo laner they don't want to deal with. Bologna is still left on the table, so that would be a very respectable choice by VishusnDelishus. But, you know, taking a look at their team comp so far, so Awilix, Ho-Yi, Agni, they're shaping up to be relatively powerful. I think, if anything, I'm always going to lean more towards the idea of more CC for VishusnDelishus. But at this point, I actually would not be too disappointed with something a bit more annoying to deal with. So Burly Men don't have Apollo available to them. I would not be sad with VishusnDelishus Loki here. Of Loki solo lane, I would not be sad with. I actually am quite happy with. That's why I mentioned it. But still,
I kind of actually agree. I want to see Marauder on one of these assassins, like possibly an Ao Kuang, a Loki, somebody who's so incredibly annoying. But well, speaking of annoying, you want CC and annoying wrapped into one big package. The hover on here for Hercules. That would be one way to bring both options to the table, Shadow Boys. Sylvanus also locked in for VishusnDelishus right there. They got some scary compositions this one goes on through.
So the solo back is going to go up against Hercules. Not exactly sure if that's a huge win for Hercules. He's going to have a bit of an advantage, but essentially the solo lane has just become a wash. These guys aren't going to have much kill opportunity after a certain point. But Burly Men picking up one of these stronger 80 carries. We've seen how XBalanque can do once he gets past a certain point, and how much he can sway a game if he is allowed a couple of kills. So I really do like the XBalanque pickup here, and they have all the tools they need to keep him alive, keep him safe, keep the team going. But if we're looking at this from a team fight to team fight perspective, VishusnDelishus actually, with those last two picks, gave themselves the edge that they needed over Burly Men, in my opinion. Now, Khepri does have the revival, but I think that's going to kind of be looked down on, as there is a lot of large AoE presence on VishusnDelishus.
There's so much AoE crowd control as well. You've got the Wrath of Terra. You have the small AoE root from Sylvanus as well. You've got Hercules' Driving Strike. You've got the knock up from him. You've got an AoE stun coming out of Agni being played by NinjaSniPAH. And then BennyQ has a good single target stun as well in the form of his mark right into a bounce. At the same time, Awilix, not the best CC, but still she brings the pull in, backed up off of a knockup, which Hercules brings plenty of, as well as a Wrath of Terra. And then you've got the small root on the Feather Step, the micro stun, in all honesty. That's going to come out of Awilix as well. I have to agree with you. VishusnDelishus has an incredibly terrifying amount of crowd control in their team comp.
Yeah, so hopefully we get. Yeah, Hou actually has a knockup of his own with his jump mechanic. Yeah, with his jump mechanic. So it's hopefully going to be a very close match. Both teams have their own niche ways of getting an advantage over the other, but we'll have to wait and see as the counter counts down to getting into the game. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. This is again the semifinals. VishusnDelishus versus Burly Men.
And we are live with the third game of the day, featuring VishusnDelishus facing off against the Burly Men. Both solid, well, not because Burly Men new, but long-standing member rivalries here. So this is going to be a really interesting game, Shadow Boy, as we got a lot of old names on the Burly Men and a couple of new faces on VishusnDelishus from a few old teams, but, well, same rosters, it seems.
Oh, yeah, everyone is playing, relatively with the same group of people and just different names here and there. But VishusnDelishus, Burly Men, not a team me and you in particular are foreign to, so some of the viewers might not have seen them, but these guys are very, very familiar with each other. In fact, you see them having a little auto attack slap off in the middle lane. It's not even anything serious, but oh, look at that. Someone broke the trust circle. Someone is breaking the trust circle.
This is why you don't break the trust circle, guys. You end up like BennyQ and you get called out on stream for it. Either way, I mean, yeah, both of these teams, at least the members on them, they've all been facing off each other for, well, about as long as the amateur scene has existed in Smite, it seems. I mean, Marauder, old player on Resist from a long time ago until this happened. NinjaSniPAH, BennyQ, and them, they were the old crew of, I believe it was Magic is Gaming, alongside Metempsychosis here, and they kind of formed together in VishusnDelishus here, and they got quite a roster together, but Burly Men bringing back the old duo from Noble Gaming, I believe. It was Junipera and Lou, who used to be a pretty terrifying duo in their own right.
Yes, it was, but everyone going for the traditional starts. No one really doing anything out of the ordinary. We have two red pots on both, we have red pots on both the junglers, and then of course Isis having her own red pot.
Wait a sec. Is this a Khepri solo?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah. Damn, I.
All right. All right, but okay. Sorry, Shadowboy. Go ahead. I was a little bit confused there. They just finally looked at the item.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to talk about that, but basically, yeah, because they favored the Khepri matchup against the Hercules a bit more than they favored the Sobek matchup against the Hercules, they went ahead and threw Khepri over there, and so far it's working out pretty well for him. The one thing that you can definitely take away from it is that Khepri will not die against the Hercules. Once the level 5s come out, there's no chance of Khepri actually dying there, but he might want to be careful here. He's actually taking a lot of damage, but over in the back part of the left side map, there's a bit of a heavy rotation coming out from the jungler and the mid laner, but now it's actually getting turned around on as, Awilix.
Yeah, he's a bit out of position. He's going to give it up for first blood. It's BootyCallJones actually fishing out Buuddha right there. NinjaSniPAH, and he got a bit too aggressive there, and Buuddha, well, he tried to leverage his early damage a bit too much and fell for it in the end.
Yeah, he thought that he could make a turnaround play, maybe Thor had left or something like that, but I'm not sure exactly why he dedicated so much into trying to get a kill. He's going to come back in the lane, potless, and feeling a little bit defeated there, and that kill going over to Thor is going to be huge. He is the one who does still have his red pot, and he's about to hit level 5 actually, and doesn't get that last creep to get level 5, but is able to walk out just fine. Knocked up, but not going to be much follow-up.
Not too much follow-up here. I mean, at the same time, duo lane going back and forth so far, but the Burly Men did have a great start here until it looks like BennyQ wants to start some fights here. Lou, though, trading back some heavy damage as the curse was popped from Junipera right there. But Lou trading back as good as he gets here. BennyQ tries to find the balance, but falls short on his mark here as BootyCallJones making his call right now, about to appear, teleports in with the backswing, but Metempsychosis immediately fires off a quick root and will lock BootyCallJones down before anything can happen. Repap a bit late on the rotation as well, but not going to matter too much as they still have a solid lead in the mid lane experience-wise. Buuddha just now hitting level 4 and Repap making it back in time for the full wave.
So Thor is almost level 5 here. He's going to be very happy once he is, because that allows him for more opportunities to get kills. And it looks like they want to try and make it happen over in the duo lane, but meanwhile over in the solo lane, Hercules was actually able to get a kill onto pucmm.
I mean, it's surprising, but I mean, I guess Marauder definitely lived up to his reputation. I mean, we kind of knew him as that Ao Kuang that went completely off 1 week and just absolutely dominated. So if anyone's going to get this kill, I guess it's understandable here. But Khepri not a god we thought would be taken down early on here, and now they want to fight more in the mid lane as well. No letting up for either of these teams here. NinjaSniPAH so low on mana right now, and BootyCallJones not letting up the assault in the slightest.
Yeah, BootyCallJones needs to keep that pressure up just because he has that first blood and just because he still has Repap. He has the opportunity to get something done given he actually uses it. However, it's a little hard to do so when you're Thor, but at the same time, you can escalate your win in other ways, like this mid camp that you're about to take.
Yeah, he got the first blood. They're going to secure these mid camps quite handily here, and likely secure the second set of mid camps as well. So all in all, Burly Men rocking away with a very small but solid advantage here in the early game. And the red pot definitely paying off for Thor, so he did secure the first blood. He's getting these mid camps quite handily. So all in all, red pot definitely working out. Same thing going for Ice in the purple pot there. Maybe not as much as they would have hoped for here, but it definitely worked out in the end.
Khepri coming back into the solo lane after he has his blue, just gonna try and farm up and not die again. Khepri did build into the shoes of focus, so wanting to have that CDR potential. Not exactly sure how he's going to build throughout the rest of this game. I imagine, of course, that there's going to be defenses, but what is he going to put emphasis on is another question. A little bit of a tussle over in the mid lane for these left mid harpies.
I was going to say I was expecting more like a bruiser-style Khepri, going to CDR boots, and maybe getting a few extra defensive items, maybe with an ethereal staff as one of his items here. Spirit Ball over the top, lands really close, but close doesn't count here, and inches short. Buuddha going to secure this side of mid-camps as well, so Burly Men and VishusnDelishus splitting a 2-2 split on these mid-camps here, so all in all, no advantage gained for either side off of those, but a well-placed bit of backing up there from Buuddha right there.
Dual lane being quite silent most of this game so far. It hasn't actually been a lot of action going on over there. Really surprising to see, actually. So Thor, having ultimate, does have the ability to lock down Hou Yi if given the chance, but still hasn't found his way over yet. Not much warding going on near the Gold Fury, and in fact, I think they might be trying to bait out some kind of kill opportunity. No, in fact, they're actually going for a very greedy Gold Fury, and this is actually going to go right to them.
Yeah, Burly Men, they've got this one for free. It's actually not risky at all. They've got no vision, and VishusnDelishus, if they walked even slightly out of vision, they would have spotted that, but Burly Men leveraging that damage, what could have been a massive risk, turned out to be a completely free control right there, and then actually looking at the wards, there was almost no risk to that at all, it seemed.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were able to get that Gold Fury as well as only use a small amount of cooldowns, Isis ulti, just to make sure that everyone was able to get back into the lane quite easily. Sobek ultimate was gone too, but I feel like he's not going to really find too many opportunities to use it that optimally.
Especially since I'd say that was the optimal moment to just hold on to it and use it right there. So in the end, great call there from the Burly Men, and they bring themselves up to a solid 1,000 gold lead at 6 minutes in. But they're still going to work on carrying this one through, as the big theme we've seen here today is, can these teams close the game fast enough to actually work through their advantages? So far, the answer has been yes, but that trend could change on a dime.
Marauder really looking to try and bully out pucmm, but pucmm is just content with trying to farm here. And that's going to be a little frustrating for Hercules, who is ahead. But now, here it is. There's going to be Awilix coming in, but no actual kill opportunity found. I think that they could have justified diving with Hercules there. One feather step could have resulted in at least forcing the pop.
Repap. Sorry, Shadow Boy, but there's a big fight going down. Now Thor ready to engage as well. BootyCallJones dunking a bit too close for comfort there, but not where he needs to. Buuddha lands the catch with the Spirit Ball is good. Right into the backswing as Marauder finds pucmm away in the solo lane. And the Burly Men, they rotate, but they gain nothing at all, other than saving Repap's life. BootyCallJones, unfortunately, wasn't able to land the dunk onto anybody there, as the Anvil of Dawn fell short, but Junipera's pluck may not fall as short.
So Marauder still living up to the expectations we've seen out of him before, getting the kill yet again over in the solo lane by himself, and giving his team a bit more of an advantage over in that area. I mean, he's actually probably the sole reason the experience difference is in their favor.
But they're still fighting in mid lane as well. Neither team letting up, but due to a great ultimate of XBalanque, the Darkest of Nights obscuring everything right there. BootyCallJones was able to find that last double tap for a quick kill onto Buuddha right there, and Burly Men responding quite nicely in the mid lane to losing their solo lane, and their tower most likely to fall as well. But Marauder, he's a 2-0 Hercules. He's going to be a major threat as we move towards this next stage of gameplay when the big solo lane rotations start to come out.
So we come back to a bit of a stalemate point in this game. Everyone has their shoes online. Shoes of focus on Sylvanus, a shoes of focus onto Sobek. So still prioritizing early damage is going to be mostly supports.
A lot of blue suede shoes today here, Shadow Boy. I mean, but what happened recently to the shoe changes recently? I mean, there were some changes between boots of focus and the penetration shoes as we know them now. What exactly happened here, Shadow Boy?
Well, I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a slight increase in the benefits from the shoes of focus, if I remember correctly. But hold on just a second here. Is Khepri is pulling Marauder under tower, and Awilix is wanting to make a play here in heavy rotation.
And that's a lot burned for absolutely nothing from the Burly Men right here. We are going to see a quick pause come out from Repap as there might have been a behind-the-scenes issue that we're not quite seeing yet, maybe a disconnect. However, doesn't quite look like it yet, but that was a lot burned on the Burly Men for absolutely nothing, unfortunately. And this might hurt them in the long run, as now VishusnDelishus, they're in a chance to turn this one around, especially since the fact that their solo laner is absolutely massive right now.
Yeah, Marauder just is doing a fantastic job. He's bullying out Khepri, even though Khepri has an ultimate that literally saves his own life. But that being said, Hercules is going to hit a certain point after about, say, 20 minutes where the damage he's doing not going to really be relevant, and if he builds too offensively, his survivability in a fight is not actually going to be existent at all. So it's kind of a weird balancing out act that you play with Hercules. Like, how much damage can I get off before I hit my only tanky phase? And realistically speaking, I think that is probably going to be just these next 5 minutes. That he's going to actually be able to just bully out anybody in a fight. And then after that, he has to throw the reins over to his teammates and hope for the best. But so far, Marauder has really been the only one aggressively playing on his team. And I don't know if that's by design or if that's by choice or what they're going for there. But I kind of expect to see a bit more player damage onto Awilix right now. And definitely want to see more come out of Agni as this game progresses.
Yeah, I mean, NinjaSniPAH, he's not falling too far behind right now. I mean, he's about 500 gold behind Isis right now, being played by Repap there. That's about to be expected, as you expect from the jungler getting decently bullied out early on in the game. Unfortunately for them, Buuddha, he had a rough start to this game. He ended up getting bullied out in the solo lane, well, actually in the jungle fight, and he tried to go a little bit more aggressive, and he ended up giving up first blood over to Thor this game. Once BootyCallJones got ahead, he started to put the pressure up to 11 on VishusnDelishus, and as a mid laner, you're going to be the first one to feel a jungler getting ahead. And you're going to feel it incredibly hard, especially a jungler like Thor, who can afford to get very, very aggressive on the blink of an eye as well. So it's going to be a slowed down game from VishusnDelishus, I feel, but I think as long as Marauder can scale it and start to rotating him into these fights a bit more, they can end up pushing past the fact that they're in for a bit of punishment if Thor can actually find these fights.
You know, even though he did find those first few kills, he has been relatively non-existent across the map, especially for a global presence god. It's been really quiet. So while I do agree with you that he definitely has the potential to do a lot, he's been really missing out on a lot of those opportunities. Has had a couple of instances where he's shown interest in doing so, but didn't really commit to it. But it looks like this pause is going to take a little while, so we're going to go ahead and go to a break. We'll be back in just a moment. You guys stay tuned, and we'll bring to you the action as soon as these teams get ready.
And we're live, but well, only for a short time it seems. They don't get too comfortable here, but the fight is breaking out soon enough as VishusnDelishus. They want to get vicious here as Marauder pulls somebody in. Looks like BootyCallJones might actually be DCing right now as well. He's standing there in the middle of the lane, and there we go, Sun being bowled on through here, pulled in by Metempsychosis out of the fight as Lou still dueling with BennyQ, and he finds the actual win right there. Boulder coming out from VishusnDelishus, pulled in. It's pucmm right there. He's got his ultimate ticking on himself. They're looking for Junipera if they can find it, trying to wait out the ultimate from pucmm. Metempsychosis walking up for this one. That's going to be a Suku in the air, ready to find this one out, but well, they're already getting the full disengage here. It looks like BootyCallJones has fallen out of this one, and oh, good sportsmanship from Metempsychosis to actually just pull him out of the AoE zone right there.
That's actually really surprising. When you talk about money, usually a lot of people get very determined to
they get vicious when there's money involved.
When there's money involved, it's pretty much alright, well, sorry it happened to you, but it's not me. I want some cash. That sounds really messed up.
It doesn't. I can respect it, but yeah, I can understand it going either way. But still, respect to VishusnDelishus there, going for the respect approach and just pulling him out of the fight, and well, not doing what I'm pretty sure most of us here would do when going for money.
Yeah, I think 90% would say, screw you, I'm winning.
I mean, it still is worth pointing out that, good swordsmanship there, so at the end of the day, hands it to them, but we still got a game to cast and a game going on here, is they're going to go ahead and go for a pause here, and re-pause it most likely as well, so there we go. We're paused out from Metempsychosis, and I think this is going to be another long run from what we've heard.
Yep.
Alright, well, like I said, don't get too comfortable, guys. We're incredibly sorry, but there are a few issues that are out of our hands at this point, so we're going to go once again to a short, hopefully short break screen, but we'll be back as soon as we can. This is the Challengers Cup brought to you by Tier Monster and hi-rez Studios. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And all out of pause time, back into the action. VishusnDelishus facing off against the Burly Men. BootyCallJones has full-on disconnected and has not returned, so Burly Men, they're going to be in a bit of a trouble spot here for a little bit, and VishusnDelishus, they're ready to take advantage of this most likely, because that's a pretty hefty chunk of change on the line.
Yeah, and BootyCallJones actually did just come back in. He's making his way back out onto the map, which is very good for the members of Burly Men, who were a little afraid when they initially saw the issue arise, but now they can breathe a slight sigh of reliever, as it doesn't appear that they are going to have to say goodbye to their chance of winning this particular tournament just yet. But scoreline 3-2. Thor is still 2-0. He does have the Jotun's Wrath. He does have a lot of damage in hand. It's just a question of where is he going to display it.
And he's got to find someplace to put it out soon enough as Burly Men. They've got to lead, but they've got to carry it through even further if they don't want to have a repeat story of some of these comeback stories we've seen in the past year. But excitement is a fun thing to have, so either way, it should be fun. BootyCallJones definitely back into action quite nicely here. It does seem like what I'm hearing is his keyboard ended up dying. So either way, duo lane fight still breaking out. BennyQ getting flipped around by Junipera right there. Lou raining the bolus from behind as Thor. BootyCall dunking in with the fight right here, but getting pulled away by Metempsychosis with a great pluck out there. Rathatera catching out a 3, but Repap in the action here with the first kill of that fight. Burly Men securing this one right in time for Gold Fury here as the full 5-man squad positioned around the Gold Fury, but the VishusnDelishus team, they're in position to fight this one out. We have Marauder trying to get there in time, but NinjaSniPAH, he's plucked in. He's about to fall as he runs right into a wall right there. Now Marauder, he joined the party, but he's so late to this one. Finds a pluck on the Lou. Lou tossed back. Boulder will crush on through his health bar right there as Marauder will flee the scene of his crime right there. But a great wall stunning almost everybody out on VishusnDelishus from BootyCall right there. Repap finds another kill, and I think at this point he's almost got the quadra kill as BennyQ secures the last shot on a Marauder. Marauder still the one ticking on right here as Puckum gets that second shot down. Marauder doing what he can, a pull in from Puckum here as Repap, he's trying to buy something up, but he might have just done enough work to buy all the time that VishusnDelishus will need here. A push back from Marauder onto Puckum right there. Metempsychosis, he's back in the fight, he's back with the blink, but the abduction going to get Puckum out of danger for the time being. Pulls missing across the board here from VishusnDelishus, but a great fight out of them will stop the Gold Fury and save their lives.
You know, I think this is one of the biggest reasons why Burly Men have had such a successful game, because all of VishusnDelishus' damage has come through Hercules. And we're starting to reach that point where, yeah, Hercules is just not going to be as potent. He has on Sile, so it is a damaging item with some CDR, but it's not actually that strong of a damaging item. It's not going to be, you know, that next level of just hurt that can be brought through, say, a Jotun's Wrath.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite the same. However, it's still going to be a nice little chunk right there, and now things are about to get a lot more difficult for Burly Men here as VishusnDelishus, they've shown they've got plenty of power in their corner, especially when Marauder joins the party here, sitting at 4-0 on the Hercules. The Ankele going to be doing a nice bit of work for him, especially with the magic damage they can bring to bear on Repap right there. And we saw the terror that was Repap in that fight, getting 3 kills in 1 engagement right there. Definitely bringing out plenty of pain with the Spirit Balls right into the Wind Gust combos, so if you can deliver again, it's going to be more than enough. But the Darks of Nights ticking on through from Lou right there. So correction dropped by Repap, but no really getting here, but they pull Marauder back into the zone right there. He's going to get crushed out by BootyCall right there, as now Marauder is down. They've got the Rathatera, but do they have the follow-up pull in onto Puckum right there? But he's not the man you wanted to pull in, as BootyCall BootyCallJones rushing it in for that second kill of the fight, bringing him the double as BennyQ trying to leap away. Lose so low on health. He has to lifesteal up. They're chasing on through the side of Burly Men. The triple for BootyCallJones as Repap secures the fourth kill. A deicide as Repap finds his double right there in a huge swing of events for the Burly Men. They took out the heavy damage dealer and they won the fight.
Well, that was a fight that we didn't expect to go so heavily in favor of one team or another. It just looked so kind of even, and then all of a sudden, boom! VishusnDelishus gets taken down quite decidingly by Burly Men. And I think a large part of that goes back to what we've been talking about most of this game. It's just, there's no way for VishusnDelishus to really make a huge impact in this game if it wasn't through Hercules. But now VishusnDelishus trying to make a defense. Hercules is going to try and save the Gold Fury, throws the boulder. Unfortunately for him, it's not going to be enough. And so that's going to go over to Burly Men quite decisively. And they're actually doing quite a chunk of damage onto Hercules on the way out.
Yeah, Burly Men starting to look a lot more decisive, and now that they've hit their mark, they've turned it up to 11, and already we're seeing the results be produced by them. They've gained a solid gold lead, about 7,000. It's like something happened during that pause. They realized, all right, guys, we've got the advantages. We can just turn it up here and just completely take it to VishusnDelishus. They had a great showing of VishusnDelishus, especially at that first Gold Fury fight, but, well, it looks like Burly Men have realized exactly how to fight the strong Marauder in these fights.
Yeah, you basically just ignore him. I mean,
you ignore him, or you just explode him the second he steps out of position here before he's engaged, because there's so many ways to displace people inside of Burly Men.
Like, there's no actual reason for anyone to honestly sit there and take abuse from a Thor. There's no reason. It's illogical to try and do it, and there's many other things you can get done in that span of time. So rather than sit there and deal with that frustration, it makes a lot more sense to just all out ignore his damage if it's negligible, which right now it's starting to become negligible, and then push forward to trying to deal with their backline. He does have a lot of CC that he can use on a couple of the players on the side of Burly Men, and that can set up a lot of kill opportunities for VishusnDelishus, but unfortunately, since they just haven't been able to find the rhythm that they need, it's not really a factor.
He's not really been a factor, unfortunately, after that first fight, and now they got another catch from the NinjaSniPAH on the side of the Burly Men. A quick dash on through from him will detonate the Noxious Fume before he can break on through, but Junipera lurking in the water, ready to counter his type of Pokemon right there. NinjaSniPAH gonna fall as Repap picks up Metempsychosis. Marauder doing what he can, but I don't think he can do nearly enough as he's pulled back into the dead zone, and pucmm secures the kill right there. Now, well, BootyCallJones landing onto Buuddha right there. Buuddha putting on his blue suede shoes, but it's not enough. The Spirit Ball finds its mark. He finds the Wing Gun, and a great series of kills as the Burly Men. Oh, they're going to find another near deicide. BennyQ doing what he can to split push here, but I don't think a base race is a good call here. He's going to lose Fire Giant for sure, and BootyCallJones making the steps back to prevent the second tier 2 tower from falling.
Yeah, well, the tier 2 tower is going to fall, and, well, actually, maybe not. But they are going to get the Fire Giant for sure. That is a guarantee. And actually, Thor did save the Tier 2 tower. Hoyi wasn't able to make as big of an impression as he wanted to over in that lane. But Tier 1 tower is going to be taken down on the right side of the map. Surrender Vote comes out. Not sure if it can go through. I imagine there is a large portion of them that do want to surrender here after seeing these last few fights.
Yeah, 10,000 gold deficit of just a massive kill lead in favor of Burly Men, and it's translating into objectives as well. Unfortunately, VishusnDelishus, there's a good reason why they might want to surrender here, but they've still got a shot at this, but at this point, the ball is in Burly Men's court, and it's theirs to toss away.
So, all the members of Burly Men are coming down the middle lane. They have Fire Giant. They have quite a few items in their pocket. We take a second to look at those. XBalanque is now getting closer and closer to his crit as he does have a hidden dagger. Warrior's Bane is on Thor, so getting that Titan's Bane up and running soon. Mail Renewal completed on him as well. And then finally we look at the very bottom with Khepri, who has the Void Stone as well as the Divine Ruin, so really going for that utility style build to try and assist his teammates. Now, all that being said, they have more than enough damage just in the XBalanque to take out these objectives, and they look to try and take the last remaining tower over on the left side of the map for VishusnDelishus as their first priority.
Even with only having assists right there, he's still sitting pretty solid on items, incredibly solid on gold, even though he doesn't have the passive fully stacked. Lou will get to that point eventually. He's got the gold he needs, he's got the damage, he's going to be a decent carry at this point as well. Repap, he's carried his way through this mid-game. He's past that weaker point of Isis, and he's at the point where Isis will just start shredding through everybody's health bar. VishusnDelishus are definitely in dire straits at this point, as Burly Men, they've all hit their major endgame spikes at this point, and this is going to get worse from here, as they're looking for one more fight here. pucmm staying very, very aggressive at this point in time. I'm surprised to see them try to look for some kind of pluck here, but it could go either way here. The displacement is good on both teams. They will find a stun right into pucmm's pull. They are going to find Metempsychosis, but a great Wrath of Terra slows down pucmm. It takes him out, but the ultimate is on point from him right there, saving his life and buying out so many ultis there. BennyQ locked down. He beats us immediately right into the dive bomb. He'll dive bomb to safety, but Thor, well, he's got a dive bomb of his own. It's much, much longer range. He dives right under NinjaSniPAH. Snipe gonna get sniped out by puckm's grab there as well, and he is going to fall in the end. Circle protection to guarantee this Phoenix for Burly Men here, as Junipera diving so deep right now. Buuddha in so much trouble. He's going to take a quick tick of damage and burn out fast, as this Phoenix, it's guaranteed to fall in favor of the Burly Men. They're looking for a second one as they pull in Marauder. The beads are immediate from him, but now all he can do is watch on in horror as his team looks to arrive, but it may not be enough. BennyQ gonna get picked up by a quick pull-in from Junipera. She's dealing so much damage now as well, and I don't quite think VishusnDelishus can pull on through this one. The Titan, it's gonna come under attack, Shadow Boy, and I think this actually could be the end of the game right here, as they're going for the fight. Lou pulled on in by Marauder. It's not enough. pucmm already went for the fight here. A quick push back from the driving strike of Marauder right there. It's almost enough, but Marauder, he's taking way too much Spirit Ball. It lands, and it's good for the damage right there. Buuddha next to fall, but the Titan, however, will fall first. Buddha's life saved by the bell, but the bell, it's not the one you want to hear told.
Yeah, I mean, that was the opposite of what we were expecting, I guess you could say. We were kind of under the impression that due to the team comps, VishusnDelishus would have a lot more of a good stance against Burly Men, but it just literally no real wins outside of the soul lane for them.
It was a very, very unfortunate thing right there that happened to them, but that's how it goes, unfortunately, and that'll be the end of the match for Burly Men, and, well, VishusnDelishus, they can come back next week and fight for this one, though, as these seed points are quite important for the money here, but Burly Men will move on to the next round. Meanwhile, VishusnDelishus will follow the tournament. Shadow Boy, any final thoughts of this game?
No, just, basically, it started out as a good conceptual team composition. I like the route that VishusnDelishus was going for. I just think that execution is key there, and also realizing what your jungler is capable of and what they're not capable of in the early points of the game.
Yeah, either way, we'll find out more next week as we move on to the next round of games. We're moving on to the semifinal games featuring Free K-Spot and Burly Men for the top side, and Neelam facing off against the winner of Risky Behavior. This is the Nizzle Shizzle, so that should be an interesting one. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with the next round of Smite's Challenger Cup, brought to you by hi-rez and Tier Monster. So do stay tuned. We'll be right back.